So this is a thing. I didn't really want to post this on Twitter because I know I'm not converted to Judaism yet, and technically I don't have to follow all the laws of Shabbat, and I'm obligated to break one law of Shabbat per Shabbat. But I still try not to Shabbat post. But this is interesting circumstances. So last night, my white Christian roommates, despite being very white and Christian, and knowing that I moved here because I'm anti-drug and to get away from drugs, they deal drugs. This isn't like a regular thing as far as I know. This is the one time that I've seen it since I've moved here about a month ago now. Mushrooms. The guy's cousins dropped off mushrooms, and when he told me what was happening, I rebuked him, right? I reproved my fellow brother, whatever you want to... I just read the Parashah for this week, and that's in there. And he, him and his wife insisted on aggressively lying to me, saying, it's not drugs, mushrooms aren't really drugs. Psilocybin, the psychedelic mushrooms are totally the same thing as like shiitakes and stuff, and caffeine's a drug, and somehow that went to, well, if you're an American, you should want marijuana legalized, and because cars kill people too. It was funny because they aggressively lied right to my face, and nothing I said mattered, the cognitive dissonance. But they tried to dictate how I should think and how I should feel about drugs. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that. You should do this. You should think this way. You should feel this way. It was very funny. As Christians, they lied and whatnot. So I see a lot of anti-Semites saying it's the Jews behind all this stuff, but if Whitey can't live without his drugs and his booze, it's clearly not the Jews. It's the whites. It's the white Christians. Now, I know there's Jews who deal drugs and totally pro-mushrooms and all that stuff, but what really gets me isn't all the pathetic, piss-poor arguments they made and lies they told me yesterday and attempts to, like, alter my thinking that were very weak and pathetic. It's more to the fact that they're going to charge me really cheap rent starting next month, to the point that I could start paying my student loans back. That was the plan. I don't know. I don't want to live with drug dealers, but I do want to pay back my student loans. I don't want to be, in debt. I want to be a good person, which is weird. It's like a moral thing, a moral hierarchy of morality, right? What's a higher priority of morals? Which moral principle is a higher priority that supersedes the other one, right? Is paying back my student loans more important than opposing drugs? Do I self-sacrifice one way or the other, right? Which one's the greater loss? I don't know. But either way, it's very interesting. Just a quick and random update. The Christians that were so nice that I'm going to move in with them and stuff are drug dealers. The guy's doing a mushroom deal between tonight and tomorrow. He had his cousins drop off the mushrooms that he's purchasing for someone's work or something. So much for the Christians. Yet again, it's the pattern. Yet again, Christians fail to be the drug-free community. They're all drugged out, but not necessarily. I contacted the brother who moved me in here, and he was going to work on getting me. But it was really funny because it pointed out, they knew before I moved in that I'm very anti-drug and I hate drugs, but when I expressed concern, they started to debate me and bullshit me and tried to dictate how I should feel about drugs and how they tried to force me to change my mind to be more accepting, and oh, psychedelic mushrooms aren't really drugs, and oh, weed should be legal because cars kill people. Just stupid, really idiotic arguments, but they display a lot of cognitive dissonance. It's very very typical, I should say. But that really sucks because I made my first payment to my student loan this month, and with the rent deal they were offering me, I was going to be able to continue to make payments and pay off my student loan sooner and faster. So it feels like I'm in a situation where I can sell my soul, abandon my morals. Reporting it to the police is pointless, according to the pastor, because it's a slap on the wrist here in Virginia, a misdemeanor, according to a quick Google search. And I also think this is God maybe punishing me for idolatry of Christianity, but I relied on Hashem through Judaism when I lived at the last place for over a year, like almost 2 years, waiting for God to do a miracle to get me out of there, and nothing happened. Until I went to the Christian church and took action in person. And that led to me being here with the Christian drug dealers. It's nuts. It's fucked up. So the question becomes what kind of God would allow this as much as what kind of government would allow this. But I'm only one module away from finishing this semester, and it'll be fine. I trust God. What the fuck? Yet again, the Christians failed, and it's really funny because they sit there and they complain about Biden, even though Biden's pushing drugs and they do drugs and want to legalize drugs just like Biden. It's really stupid and hypocritical. Now I don't want to go to church this guy because he's a hypocrite. Anyway. Just some more random observations. This could be a sell your soul kind of moment where I sacrifice my morality for profit, but I don't want to. If I do nothing and all that, I could continue to make payments on my student loans. But in order to do that, I would have to be complicit in drug dealing. It's a very strange thing. It was quite hilarious that they chose, as Christians, to bullshit me with all kinds of really weak lies and pathetic attempts to alter my thoughts about drugs. Oh, mushrooms aren't really drugs. Caffeine kills people. Cars kill people. It's not really a drug deal. I'm not making any money on it. Oh, as Christians, okay, right. But there is that appeal of paying the student loan. And it's even more funny that they couldn't take the direct, honest approach in that regard. What a fucking thing. This is not Jews, by the way. These are white Christians. So it's not the Jews, it's the white Christians. But I'm sure there's Jews that do and deal drugs like mushrooms as well. And Jews that don't, and white Christians that don't.